Guys, this is Mr. Joshy J, and this is your driver ratings and team ratings of the Brazilian Grand Prix. All drivers and teams covered as I rate them out of 10 for their performances over the weekend. Lewis Hamilton, 8. Yes, I give Lewis Hamilton an 8. I mean, he was P2 at the start in the main race because obviously Carlos Sainz penalty, finished P3 in the sprint race and then P2 in the main race. So yeah, honestly, contacts with Max, I stick by still who I blame for the incident. But yeah, good weekend in my opinion for Lewis Hamilton. He wasn't happy though that he come in and made the pit stop, but Mercedes got their strategy spot on yesterday. They really did. To me, that's the first time since Spain last year that they've got their strategy spot on. Yeah, so overall, good weekend to Lewis Hamilton. George Russell, 10. Yes, his first ever win in F1. I mean, P1 in the sprint and P1 in the main race. Mercedes first 1 and 2 of the season. Absolutely fantastic. I am so happy that W13 has got a win. Even though they gained massive points on my favourite team, Ferrari, I'm still just very happy that W13 finally has a win. Well done, George Russell. You deserve it. The first of many. Get in there. Max Verstappen, 0. Absolutely 0. I mean, he finished P6 in the main race. He was told to let Checo through. First of all, Red Bull said to Max, you can overtake Checo and try and get Alonso and this other car as well. But he didn't. Then Red Bull asked for Max to swap the positions back, but Max ignored team orders. Absolutely disgraceful. It needs calling out, 100%. And I'll be doing a rant about it because Max Verstappen, I'm sorry, he has lost to me as a fan. I'll always respect the guy and like the guy, but after yesterday, he has lost to me as a fan, I'm afraid. So stay tuned to that rant. After all Checo has done for him, he literally throws it back in his face. Disgusting by the two-time world champion. Honestly, disgrace. Any Max fans, comment your thoughts down below what you think, but surely you cannot defend that. You cannot defend the indefensible, honestly. Sergio Perez, 6. I mean, wasn't the best of days in the sprints, and then in the main race, P7, but should have been P6. I mean, Red Bull put him on the mediums, then at the safety car restart, just kept going backwards and backwards, did Sergio Perez. So, yeah, it wasn't the best of races for Sergio Perez. I gotta admit. Lando Norris, 6. Yes, I gave Lando Norris a 6. I mean, did well in the sprint, and then in the main race, that engine failure, I'm afraid, yeah. So, and a disastrous weekend in their battle with Alpine in the Constructors probably means now Alpine are going to get that 4th place as they have a huge advantage going into Abu Dhabi. Daniel Ricciardo, 0. Absolutely 0. I mean, yeah, just awful by Daniel Ricciardo. He took out Kevin Magnussen and, yeah, just really struggled. One more race before we say goodbye to Daniel Ricciardo, before Oscar Piastri comes in. So I'm very much looking forward to seeing Oscar Piastri in that McLaren next season. I really am. Charles Leclerc, 5. Yes, I give Charles Leclerc a 5. I mean, I don't think it was the best of the weekend, so he recovered well in the race. I mean, in the sprint qualifying, Friday was an absolute disgrace to the Scuderia Ferrari. The way they didn't have his hards ready, they just kept Leclerc waiting. And then in the main race, Norris made contact with Leclerc. Leclerc hit the wall, very lucky not to be out of race. but did recover to finish P4, so all things considered, that was decent. And he is level with points with Sergio Perez in that second place in the Drivers' Championship. But Leclerc is ahead at Checo, so it's advantage Leclerc for that second place in Abu Dhabi. But of course, everything to play for that second place. Carlos Sainz 8. Yes, I give Carlos Sainz an 8. I mean, P3 in the main race. Qualifying again was not the best, but sprint race decent, and then main race very good. And Ferrari got the tires right and everything, so fair play. After shit shown on Friday, fair play by my team Ferrari. Honestly, fair play for that. Alpine, Fernando Alonso 6. Yes, I give Fernando Alonso a 6. He had a good main Grand Prix, but in the sprint, definitely at fault for one of the contacts in Ocon. And I say Ocon was at fault for one of the incidents. So Alonso 6, Ocon 7, I give. Gasly and Yuki Tsunoda in the AlphaTauri 0. Absolutely 0. I mean, both of them just nowhere. Absolutely nowhere at all. Sebastian Vettel. Now I'm going to give Vettel a 7. Yeah, I thought he's decent this weekend. Obviously, Lance Stroll forced Vettel wide, but Vettel remains calm. Stroll, well, I actually forgot to do the Aston Martin ratings. I got the iPad in front of me, but Stroll, 0. I mean, what he did along the straight, weaving and forced Vettel wide, out of order. Completely out of order, Lance. That's by Lance Stroll. Honestly, out of order. So 0 for Lance Stroll. Bottas 7. Scored some decent points in the race. Yeah, so it's good. Bottas scored some decent points. And so, oh, fuck's sakes, I can't speak. Guan Yu Zhou 0. Yeah, just not very competitive at all. Guan Yu Zhou, I mean, P12, yeah, just not competitive enough. K-Mag 6, I mean, it scores at her pole position, led one lap, finished P8 in the sprint, and then in the main race had his race ruined by Daniel Ricciardo, and obviously retired with damage. Mick Schumacher, 0, absolutely 0, needs putting out his misery immediately. Needs to lose his Haas seat, not good enough, absolutely not good enough. Alex Albon, 7, I mean, P12, he was doing okay in the sprints, but then engine failure and in the main race just struggled for pace, so that's why I give Alex Albon a 7. Nicholas Latifi, 0, absolutely 0, I mean, just what can be said? Nowhere again. I think that's enough said about the team. Team ratings, Mercedes 10. Yes, a perfect weekend. Their first 1 and 2 of the season, and finally their first win with the W13 car. Yep, Ferrari 6. I mean, I gotta mark my team down. Friday was an absolute shit show. But then, during the main race, redemption, that P3, P4, and we hold a 19-point lead going into Abu Dhabi over Mercedes. Hopefully, fingers crossed, we can get that P2 in the Constructors. Red Bull 6, I mean, you gotta mark Red Bull down, haven't you? Their main Grand Prix, not the best. It just didn't look like they had the pace to match Mercedes this weekend. And obviously, Max ignoring team... I honestly can't speak. Max ignoring team orders is the reason why I'm giving Red Bull a 6. You gotta mark them down, honestly. McLaren 6, disastrous weekend in the Battle of Alpine in the Constructors. Alpine 7, yeah, not a great weekend at all. AlphaTauri 0, a weekend to forget, and then Aston 6, Vettel good, but Lance Stroll awful. Alpha 6, yeah, not good at all. Haas, I'll give them a 6. You know, Mick Schumacher, awful. K-Mag, first in her pole position, but then had his main race ruined by Daniel Ricciardo. And Williams, 6. Yeah, sprint race, decent pace, and main race, nowhere. So that's the driving ratings done, team ratings done, and the Brazilian Grand Prix. We now move on to Abu Dhabi this weekend, the final race in the 2022 season. Join me on Thursday for a preview to the Abu Dhabi Grand Prix. Oh, just saying them words, man. Already I'm having flashbacks of last season and Abu Dhabi. So just imagine what it's going to be like when I do the preview. But like I said, I'll do that on Thursday for you guys. But anyway, comment your thoughts down below. I will always reply. And sorry I've lost my lines a few times. Yeah, half the time I just couldn't speak in this video. I mean, I just have these odd moments sometimes. So it is what it is. But anyway, decent weekend. Bye-bye.